2023 is going to be a big year for us. Hi, my name's Nick, and welcome to the Riggin Farm YouTube channel. It's been a little while since we posted a video. We've been really busy with the holidays and the kids being out of school. Since the farmer's market ended last month, we've also kept ourselves busy with part-time jobs in order to pay the bills. What we have been doing is coming up with goals for 2023 and plans of actions to make sure we succeed. I'm going to share those goals with you now so you can see what to look forward to in future videos. After reviewing our income and expenses in 2022, we realized that one of our biggest priorities is cutting feed costs for our animals. Although our animals are pastured and are able to graze and forage for things to eat, we still have to give them a commercial feed for the bulk of their diet, especially in these colder months when there's nothing growing. In the last year, chicken feed has gone up 15% and our pig feed has gone up 30%. Rather than raising our prices to keep up with the cost of feed, we're actually going to start a few methods of growing more feed for our animals. The first thing we're going to do is start growing barley fodder. We ordered 96 pounds of seed that we're actually going to be picking up tomorrow. Basically what we're going to do is spread the barley seed in some seed trays and just give them water. They'll begin to sprout as long as they're exposed to light. After about 7 days, we should expect the seeds to have germinated and grown about 6 to 8 times their original weight. That'll dramatically decrease the cost of our feed. Let me go over the numbers with you. The barley costs seed $24.99 for a 48-pound bag. Let's say we get an average of 7 pounds of fodder for every 1 pound of barley seed. That'll make 50 pounds of fodder cost us about $3.72. Right now, we're paying $2.60 for a 50-pound bag of pig feed. The cost of this fodder is about a third of what we're currently paying for pig feed. Chicken feed costs us $14.69 for a 50-pound bag, so that makes the fodder about a quarter of the price of the chicken feed. Not only is sprouting the barley going to create more feed than the original seed to start with, but it's actually a lot more nutritious. Unsprouted barley seed is about 12% protein, and sprouted barley after 7 days is about 17% protein. Currently our animal feed's 16% protein, so it's actually a little bit better. It's also going to be green, so it's going to provide most of the same micronutrients that you're going to find in pasture. Something else we plan on doing is building some duckweed ponds. I've already talked quite a bit about the barley fodder, so I'll go over the details of the duckweed in a future video. In addition to the barley fodder and duckweed, we'll also be growing beans, turnips, and some other produce that our animals can eat. Another new endeavor is hatching chicks. We got 10 black Australorp hens and 2 roosters this past September. The hens should start laying in about a month or so, and the roosters should be able to fertilize the eggs at about the same time. This breed is considered dual purpose, meaning that they're both good for eggs and meat. We're going to incubate all of the black Australorp eggs that are laid. When the chicks hatch, we'll brood them until they're fully feathered. The hens will be added to our laying flock, and the roosters will be raised for meat. We currently have 25 hens and plan to add another 25 to our flock for a total of 50. After that, we're going to start selling live chickens. We'll sell them as day-old chicks, feathered pullets, and laying hens. We're also going to buy some more electric netting so that we can start rotationally grazing sheep and goats. So much of our property is overgrown with weeds, and these animals will help us take care of that problem. I'm sure we have enough on the property to feed a whole herd for months, if not years. We're going to start them in this area behind me where we want to establish some high-quality pasture. We already have the seed, but we can't spread it until March, so hopefully the goats and sheep will have this area cleared up by then. We want to get female goats and sheep that are already bred so that they can have babies here on our farm. The breeds we want will be primarily for meat, but we do want at least one goat that's main purpose is milk. Our garden wasn't very successful last year for a number of reasons, but this year we have some plans to change it into a success. The first thing we're going to do is start by working in small sections at a time. Last year we prepped the entire 5,000 square foot area before we started moving on to the next step. By the time we were actually ready to get seeds and plant starts into the ground, the weeds had already taken over. It was extremely overwhelming and made us feel defeated before we even really got started. We're going to be using some no-till gardening techniques to help with the weed pressure, and we're also going to be adding some organic compost that we've been working on over the last year. We're also going to redo the fencing around the garden because currently it does not keep rabbits out, and they love coming in and munching on our veggies. The USDA met with us at our property last week, and they told us that they would actually help us with a high tunnel greenhouse, a well, and an irrigation system. If all goes according to plan, they'll actually pay 95% of the cost, and we'll just have to pay the other 5%. That will make a huge difference. We'll also be utilizing our aquaponics and hydroponics system that are located behind our house. This area gets quite a bit of shade during the summer, so it'll be great for growing things like lettuce, greens, cabbage, and other things that don't do well with full sun most of the day. This will enable us to have some fall vegetables during the summer. We're also going to get an assortment of fruit and nut trees to plant in this area that we've started to clear out. We took out about 17 acres of pine trees from our property back in 2020, and we want to make sure that we replace those with trees that actually benefit us and the wildlife in this area. Something else we're going to do this year is start selling at multiple farmers markets every week. We got off to a late start last year and only did the last 10 weekends of our local farmers market. We already have several amazing regular customers, but we want to reach out and share our products with additional communities in our area. The current plan is to sell at 3 different markets 3 days a week, and 2 other days a week we'll sell right here on our property. To do that, we need to build a farm stand. We don't have a specific design in mind, but we will need to have it finished this spring so we can start selling. We're probably going to get it set up somewhere right about here on our property. Our property looks a lot different than it did when we bought it back in 2020, and it's probably always going to be a work in progress. We're not happy with the curb appeal right now, so one thing we're going to do to make an improvement is do some flower beds. Ashley's been playing around with some different designs and has come up with something that we both really like. We're going to have an assortment of colorful perennial flowers of various heights. We're going to have them on either side of our gate, and once they're set up and established after a few years, we'll actually take our gate down, and we have a really cool idea that we're going to do for a nice looking sign. Yesterday we bought some red rose bushes that'll grow between 3 to 5 feet wide and 6 to 8 feet tall. Currently we have them inside the house because it got below freezing last night, and we didn't want them to die as soon as we got them. We'll have to start hardening them off and getting used to the colder temperatures outside before we can actually get them into the ground. Starting a farm from scratch is not an easy or cheap endeavor, but it's something we're extremely passionate about, and we're going to do everything possible to succeed. Please comment below if you have any questions or suggestions, and don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe if you haven't already. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.